Jose! Macaque! Macaque! Thought I had him going. What's up? Hope you all are having a good day. Basically, I want to make a quick, like, I don't know, informational video or whatever you want to call it, about my tackle box. What's in my tackle box? What do I take with me when I go set limb lines or bank poles or whatever you do to go catfishing? Basically, I could not find a tackle box that fit my personal lifestyle. I mean, very busy man, got 3 kids. You know, I wouldn't say I have a small boat. I have the perfect boat for me, for a 1-man to 2-man show. So I wanted to find something that was super durable, at least water resistant, and something I could hurry up and grab, but it holds everything I want in my boat, because I don't have a special... I mean, I put my boat in the barn occasionally, but sometimes when you know, dealing with horses and everything, the boat can get in the way. But for now, I do have the perfect box. It ain't your typical tackle box, so I don't think it's a big deal. Kind of like a person's blind bag when they go hunting. I mean, the blind bag doesn't have to be, per se, a blind bag from a specific company. It could be anything that you take with you. But this is what fit my lifestyle. A rigid utility box you can find at Home Depot. I'm pretty sure, I think I paid like 40 bucks for it. But to me, it fit perfectly. It comes with a main compartment and a top tray. I mean, not much to show on that. But on the top tray, I do have things that I can easily access at whenever I need to access them. I have skinning pliers that I use on either frogs or catfish. You can use them for. I fillet my catfish, but I'm just saying you can use them on catfish. Got a fillet knife, of course. Also got a couple other knives in here. I've learned, I mean, deer season is fine, but when you're dealing with a lot of frogs or catfish or whatever, which is more, you know, comes more in the bulk, it's always nice to have a backup knife for whatever you're dealing with. I do have the set of needle nose pliers to be able to remove the hook out of the fish. That's always awesome. I'm actually thinking about upgrading those to a little bit longer ones, because I have had issues with the shorter ones not really doing what I expect to do, so keep that in mind. I have an adjustable wrench, and it's really, I'm not going to get into details about the tools that I have in my toolbox, or my tackle box, because they're literally specific to my motor that I have on the back of the boat. If you're driving a regular outboard, a long tail, surface drive, or a mud motor, your tools that you carry on your boat's probably going to vary. Just make sure you have a tool to at least get you to a bank or a dry spot or back to the boat ramp or whatever. Make sure you have those tools to help fix the problem, to get you back home to your family. I always keep 2 to 3 extra drain plugs. Well, technically 2 extra drain plugs on my boat, other than the one that actually goes in the boat, and it's just nice to have. If a drain plug fails or anything, at least you always got another one with you. I do keep, when I do some bait fishing for like bluegills, that's what I like using when I go catfishing. I do have a lot of my bait that I use for the bluegills are crappie baits, like these crappie nibbles. I don't think the camera will be able to get that, will it? Yes. Power bait crappie nibbles. These are, I've had some success with these in the past. I wouldn't say they're like your #1 go-to. I mean, bluegill, fish are fish. They're gonna go for whatever they feel like going for. But moving on, I got extra tags that I have for my lines. I will get into more details again on another video about how I have my lines and how I set them up and everything. Got a headlamp. Being a one-person show, most of the time when I set my limb lines, I got tired of holding up a spotlight when I had to hurry up and do something or keep an eye on something. I mean, a headlamp is very versatile to me, so I can just have it on and click it on whenever I need to and, you know, move on with whatever I'm doing. I haven't used these, but for some reason I felt like they were necessary just in case, whether I was holding, maybe I wanted to clip something onto a tree, you know, something, I don't know. But they're like mini bungee cords. I'm not a bungee cord fan, but I had them lying around, so I decided to use them. Also, and this is, besides the pliers, the fillet knife, and the skinning pliers, this right here I think should be in everybody's blind bag, tackle box, or hunting equipment period, and it's just regular kitchen shears. You don't have to go get those special hunting ones. I've only had one pair of the special hunting ones, and me personally, I was not amazed by the durability of the hunting shears that you would find on your common hunting aisle shelf. That's just my personal preference. Now, for somebody else, it could be different. Me, I like the KitchenAid, all metal, maybe a little bit of plastic handle. See if the camera picks that up. Plastic handle. I've actually had these since, well, I've had these for almost 10 years. And I've used them on a series of game, whether it was catfish, frogs, or doves, or turkey, or even deer. I've used them before on deer. One thing that I do differently than most fishermen is I just keep my hooks in the pack, and I keep them in the top tray. These are Team Catfish 5/0 double action circle hooks. That's what I prefer to use, but always a circle hook. I like using the circle hooks the most. I also keep, whoa, throw crap around. I also keep a lighter and also a fire starter. You'll see later on in my or within my kit or tackle box, whatever you want to call this. Going into the tackle box, I have things that are actually, some of these things are actual by law in the state that I live in, which is Tennessee. Like, is if you have a fuel or even electric power, it doesn't matter. If you have a powered motor on your boat, you have to have a fire extinguisher. This is a 5-pound fire extinguisher. I think I paid 15 bucks for it at Walmart. I really don't know if it works or not, and I really hope that I don't ever find out. I also keep an extra bottle of oil, nothing special. I go with whatever I feel fits the performance of my motor. You can do the same. I keep an extra prop. To me, that's just my own common sense. Anything can happen with the prop that you have on your boat. It's okay to have an extra one just in case. I also have a filter to help me fill up the oil, fuel, whatever. Just make sure you clean them out in between. I got a couple extra spools of limb lines or jug lines, whatever you want to use these for. This is what I like using. I think these are, yeah, it's a 113-pound tested line for specifically this drop line for catfish. I like using it for limb lines and jug lines and anything else that I use. And it also has a wax coating on it that lets them last a little bit longer. I also keep an extra, or not extra, I keep a packet of zip ties. And, I mean, you can pretty much figure out anything to do with zip ties. I keep a roll of duct tape, and this is actually the duct tape that I use to, it's the duct tape I use and the color that I use to tag my limb lines. I don't like putting high visibility on my lines or anything. Again, I will tell y'all in another video why I have everything set up, why I have it set up. But this is what I use to tag all my limb lines on. I also have a container. Sometimes your little baits that you get and everything doesn't work. Me, I do not like spending $4 for a small container of worms. Though I prefer just driving out somewhere, bringing the boat up on the bank, and start flipping. I apologize if the audio is horrible. I am looking into some microphones for my camera. I'm just really picky. But anyways, I have a small container. I like flipping some logs and rocks. I don't like paying for worms, so I just go out there and find the worms myself. You can find them almost any time of the year. No joke. You could find them almost any time of the year. I have a small organized tackle box in here. It's got some small, see if it picks it up again. It's just random crappie, mainly crappie crankbaits in here, but I do use them for bluegill because it works. From time to time you might get that 1 pound bass on there, but I don't really aim for bass. I go for fish that actually, you know, fills up my freezer. I got some extra small hooks in here that you mainly use for panfish, crappie, or sunfish, wherever you find me, call it differently. Amazing, you hit the record button and all of a sudden all the noises and distractions in the world just start appearing. But yeah, I got that with a couple of grubs in there. I also have, I told you I wasn't going to go into detail with tools. I'm not going to. I do, but there's something that I do think is really nice to have either in your blind bag, your boat, or out hunting, or doing anything period that requires you to have a knife for a long period of time is a knife sharpener. So I do have one of those. I do have a welding kit. I have an aluminum boat, so I do have a welding kit, you know, with me that I can use with a torch and some, I guess, aluminum rod or whatever to just patch up if I have a major leak. And then I have an extra pull cord because mine's not a push button or a button start motor. I have a pull cord motor, so I have a backup pull cord just in case anything happens. And the last thing I have in here that I mean, I wouldn't say I rarely touch, but I mainly touch the batteries out of here because the way I set my lines up, I set them up to where they can last a while. But when you buy things in bulk where it makes things cheaper, you just have it on the side just in case. But there's a container with extra weights and hooks that I would use on my lines. This is that fire starter I was telling you about. I have a fire starter along with the lighter. I prefer using the fire starter because they're a little bit more reliable. But anyways, moving on. Anything can happen. You maybe want coffee, you need a meal, or you need to stay warm while you're out there on the water. So I'm just one of those survival guys that I prefer just to be, I look at the big picture. I prefer to be ready. Also got a marker to update, a Sharpie or whatever, to update my lines. Also in the state of Tennessee, you must have a manufactured signaling device to, I mean, in case harm or whatever. I prefer the whistle over an air horn because I'd probably waste an air horn almost every single time I go in the river just because. I got some backup fuses that I use on the switches on the lights in here. I got some 1 ounce egg weights. And some 1 ounce, let me see if I can get this, 1 ounce, I think these are called Dipsy weights, I don't know. I got this weight that I prefer using on my limb lines. I got this weight that I prefer using, which I know for a fact is an egg weight, I mean, but I prefer using that on my poles. Of course, I got bead stoppers. And then I have the barrel swivel clips. I think these were rated, when I looked them up, they were rated for 150 pounds. I've used them for the past couple years on my limb lines. I like them, and again, I'll show you all in that. There goes another backup plug. I have extra batteries, a handful of extra batteries for my headlamp, and then I have my 4/0 hooks. I actually like using anywhere from 4/0 to 6/0 hooks for most of my lines and jugs and everything. Very rarely, and I think I might just do it just because I have a channel up now, very rarely I go for, you know, bigger game fish like flatheads and everything and try to aim for things more than 12 pounds, but I don't know, I might have fun with it this time. Actually, I mean, I have fun with it regardless, but most of the time I am always focused on trying to fill up the freezer. But, yep, that is everything in my tackle box. Thank you all for watching this, and I really hope to help some of y'all out there, whether you're starting off or you've been doing this for your entire life. I'm just one of those guys that I do not like wasting money. Actually, I was there before. I spent thousands of dollars on gear that I did not need, and I found out real quick in a short amount of time that I wasted the money. So I'm trying to reach some of y'all out there and show y'all that you really don't need all this fancy stuff to get out there and get started. Now, I understand on another video I'm going to be showing you the boat. And I understand there's some modifications there that you may not need. But I didn't start there. I started on the bare minimum, and I found out what I needed as I went along. So I'm hoping that some of this advice, some of these tips, some of the things that I show y'all in my videos helps some of y'all get out there and take advantage of what you got in your backyard or beyond it. Thank y'all again. And I'm hoping to see y'all next time on the water, because I am dying to set more lines out this weekend.